And we are live. I'm Terry. That's Tim. Nick down below. We could have others joining us as well. And this is the first collaboration between Earl Sports Bets and Getting Wild when it comes to the YouTube streaming world. And we are here to talk NFL. The playoffs are finally here, and we are ready to talk about the NFL. Isaac says more NFL. He says, let's get into fighting. And then he says, Vikings stink. Wow. And then
I didn't
fires.
take long.
Yeah, well, we'll definitely talk about the Vikings for sure.
For a little bit.
Yeah. I put first wild card picks. So I guess if the three of us want to kind of look at the wild card games and give our brief thoughts and opinions, I'll bring up the Saturday games. We have two games on Saturday. One at 4:30 Eastern, say a Seattle Seahawks, San Francisco 49ers. 9 spread, 9.5 spread, 42.5, 41.5 when it comes to the total. In this one, I haven't really looked deep into the exact numbers, but I heard that Seattle and Coach Carroll seem to do well against San Francisco.
Not this year.
I don't know if it's in the playoffs or something like that, but there seems to be some kind of stat with that. And some people think that Seattle could win this game. I don't really think that's going to happen. Seattle struggled to beat the Rams. The Rams were very close to winning that game. I think Seattle should get smashed in this one. I think San Francisco should smash here. But it is the playoffs, and who knows what could happen. Tim, what do you think? Seattle and San Francisco?
I think this is a San Francisco wins this game. I mean, it's not really a bold take to say San Fran wins this game. Obviously, Isaac is on the Seahawks. He's mentioned it a couple of times. The 9, that's the scary part. I don't know, because we're getting Brock Purdy in his first playoff game. You're getting this is a very tricky spot. At least in terms of Brock Purdy, it's in San Fran. If this was on the road, could be a very tricky spot. This San Francisco team is probably the hottest team in the NFL right now. After starting off 4-4, they have won 3-4. They have won 10 straight games. So they are definitely in playoff form right now. They are exactly where they want to be. They have all the momentum, and it's going to be very difficult to beat this 49ers team. I don't think Seattle has what it takes, but this one has backdoor cover written all over it, and Seattle might be one of the most dangerous teams in the playoffs because they had no expectations of being here. They were projected last place in the division. I believe their win total was 4.5. This is a Seahawks team that is playing with house money right now, and that is the most dangerous team. I will probably stay off this game. I could imagine maybe a teaser in this one. Maybe tease San Fran down to a 3 and take the under 48.5 or whatever it would be. That would kind of be how I would want to play this one. But in terms of the spread, if I had to bet the 9.5, it would be towards the Seahawks.
All right. Nick, San Francisco, Seattle. What do you think?
Yeah, full game definitely scares me with San Fran in this one. And I will be looking at I will be letting you guys know because I do use one site, pregame.com. This is where I can read off where the projected tickets are for these games, and I'll kind of give you an idea of where the money is going and how the line's moving. Which this is the reason why I'm kind of scared about the Niners full game. I took the Niners first half -6.5. That's the way I approach this one. I want them for the first 30 minutes. I can see them being up 10 at halftime, but winning this game by 6. I can see something along those lines. 82% of the tickets and 72% of the cash is on the 49ers. This line opened up at 10. It's gone down to 9.5 and 9 in some spots. So the line's moving against the 49ers, even though the money's coming in on them. 50% of the tickets, 84% of the cash is on the under. Lines moved from 43.5 down to 42. I do think this is a lower scoring game. Both games between these two teams have gone under the total this year, so I could see this as a low scoring divisional matchup. But this is a spot here where I only took the Niners first half. I would love for the Niners to win this game. My futures would love for the Niners to win this game because I have NFC and Super Bowl futures on the Niners. They're one of the two teams I bet. This is the only serious team I bet to win the Super Bowl, though. The other one was because I had to sprinkle something on my homer team. But I like the Niners to go far. Could I see this as a close competitive game? Absolutely. I only took the Niners first half, though.
All right. Well,
He's
Tim
still on the
Smith
crack, that Tim Smith guy. He's still on crack.
Okay, this one here, I definitely agree with. Even if others disagree with me, Kevin O'Connell is a hell of a coach.
I mean, he's an upgrade over what you guys last had. So,
well, Zimmer was a good defensive coach. Jefferson definitely best receiver. This one, I gotta disagree with you, Tim Smith. As much as I like,
he's not even top 10.
Yeah, he does enough.
But he is good for the Minnesota system.
Yeah. Best city, Minneapolis. Well, that's Steve Person's opinion. Geno Smith's vet, first playoff start versus Brock Purdy, rookie, first playoff start. Interesting. And then we'll go to the second game here. Tim or Nick, Joe said send him the link and he'll join. So I don't know who.
I have zero access to sending any links because you're the one that's hosting it.
Yeah.
So you just need to send him a link.
Or Tim, you can copy the link.
I put in the private chat.
Yeah.
I put in the private chat. But
Got it.
We'll look at the second game here. Chargers in Jacksonville. Close spread. I think it's the closest spread that we have on the slate this weekend. Yeah. And I think it's going to be a really good game. I think I'm going to have a ticket with Jacksonville. I just think that there's all this talk about what's going to happen to the Chargers coach if they lose this game. Mike Williams getting hurt in week 18 when he shouldn't have been playing. I think there's some bad mojo over on the Chargers side. This Jacksonville team has made me money. I still have to look into it. Nothing official yet. That's basically what I'm going to be doing after the show. I did kind of mean for this to be more of like a future show, but we'll go over the games in the wild card. But haven't locked anything in. But Jacksonville is appealing here at home. They're just that team that nobody has any faith in whatsoever. Yet they're here somehow. So Jacksonville would be my dog of the weekend. I think they're an underdog that could potentially cash. And when we get to the futures part of the show, hey, we'll get to the futures part of the show. But Tim, what do you think? Chargers and Jacksonville Jaguars.
I like the Chargers. This Chargers team I know is beat up, but this is a Jacksonville team that was they got out of the probably one of the worst divisions in football, minus both Souths were terrible. So somebody had to come out of that division. The Chargers finished the season off really well. I remember we had 18, so after week 13, I projected the Chargers to win out, and they did. And they got that spot. They got the most favorable matchup out of all the wild card teams. I don't really think that one's really a argument there, just because they go up against Jacksonville instead of having to face Buffalo or Cincinnati. But I like the Chargers. And I'll mention the Chargers more when it comes to the futures as well, because I'll talk about them a little bit more. But I think the Chargers win this game. I think they're favorites for a reason. And this is a spot for the Chargers for me.
All right. No concerns about the coach, Brandon Staley? No thoughts? No. Nick, what do you think? Chargers, Jaguars?
I think if you're looking at the futures market in the AFC, whoever you like to win this game probably has the most value for an AFC future, whether it's Jacksonville or whether it's LA. This is the game I'm probably the most torn on, to be completely honest. And this is the only game that I have not placed a wager on, but I do have a lean towards it right now. The more and more I'm looking at it, the more and more I like Jacksonville. And when we look at the tickets coming in, half of the tickets, 50-50 on the tickets, 61% of the cash is on Jacksonville. 67% of the tickets, 58% of the cash is on the over in this spot. I see this as a potential spot where Jacksonville wins this game. And they're at home. LA has to travel 3 time zones to play in this game. And Jacksonville has been playing much better as of late. I think the quarterbacks are about equal with Herbert and Lawrence. It's amazing what happens with some of these quarterbacks. And we'll mention, I think, at least one more later. When they have a competent head coach, what can happen with some of these quarterbacks when their head coach is not Urban Meyer. All of a sudden, Trevor Lawrence is a competent quarterback, which is cool to see, especially for the NFL. I think I'll probably move on Jacksonville in this game. It's around plus 118. I think that's a pretty nice price for them here at home. And if seeing that I like them to win this game potentially, you can get them 22-1 to win the AFC. Which, if you're looking for a future that's not named Cincinnati, Kansas City, Buffalo, that's not a bad look.
I can't believe I'm about to say that I agree with you, Nick. I agree.
Okay, good. I'm on the right side.
Tim Smith says Trevor Lawrence is pretty much a Viking. Interesting.
Don't know what that's supposed to mean.
Yeah. Interesting. But we'll move on to the.
Because he's going to be a first-round exit. That makes sense.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see. We'll look at the next 3 games: Miami and Buffalo. Buffalo, obviously, minus 13.5 favorites, 43.5 when it comes to the total. And I'm going to sound. I don't even know how to say it. I think Buffalo wins this game. Obviously, minus 700 favorites.
Whoa, that's a bold take there. Bold take.
I think Buffalo wins this game, but I'm not sure if they absolutely destroy the Dolphins or not. I don't know. I love the Bills, but I don't know. I don't know that they smash the Dolphins here. So I like the Bills. I can't really give you too much in this game. I think the momentum of everything that's happened is going to definitely help the Bills. But yeah. Tim, we'll go to you next. What do you think? Dolphins and Bills?
Buffalo by a lot. I wouldn't be surprised if Miami doesn't get into the end zone. This is a good Buffalo defense. This is a Miami offense that is absolutely pathetic without Tua. This is 100% a Buffalo spot. Am I betting it? No, I'm not laying 13.5 points on Buffalo. I'd rather go after Miami team total under the 15.5. I think that's a little bit of a better spot for it. But I'm nothing to do with the side, but I'll take a team total under with Miami.
All right, Higgs, welcome in.
Thanks for having me. I'm over at my parents for a little Friday night dinner.
Oh, nice. There you go.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Now my mom's half deaf. She's walking over, thinking I'm talking to her. I'm doing a show.
I'm live on air.
Yeah, she comes over and think I'm talking.
Yeah, we're briefly just going over the wild card games, and then we'll talk futures.
Yeah, talking a little Buffalo. Listen, I know it's 13, but what do you think Buffalo's scoring in this game? Right, we know Miami's going to be struggling. My daughter says the Dolphins are going to win. Obviously, she's adopted. I like Buffalo. I got Buffalo early. I got obviously at a 10 in this one. Even at 13, they're not scoring with whoever plays, right? Skylar Thompson's got the nod here.
Yep.
What are they putting up? Even if Tyreek or Waddle breaks something, are they putting more than 16, 17 points? Buffalo's got all the motivation. They got Hamlin's going to be there, right? This team put up almost 1,000 yards in the 2 games they played. Them only put up not a lot of points. Like 30 in one game and 19 in the other. Miami can't slow this team down. And now they can't score without Tua. I think Buffalo could write their own score here. Probably something like, 34-13. We got some bad luck with these games with backup quarterbacks, second and third stringers going this weekend.
For sure. Nick, biggest spread on the wild card slate. What do you think?
The biggest spread on the wild card slate, and it's also the biggest discrepancy in ticket numbers. Because on one side I look at it, they're saying around 90 to 92% of the tickets are on the Bills. Now, granted, probably a lot of those are probably at that 10 number and that 10.5 number. I tried to outsmart the market thinking, because I heard reports that Tua was trying to practice and potentially – I thought there was a potential chance. I got him at 11. It is what it is. I might pick him back up if they hit 14 and a hook, because I see this as a divisional matchup that could be closer than people anticipate. And I can see this as one of those where, all the money, all the tickets are on one side, and then magically Miami backdoor covers with a minute left. Like one of those spots where, Buffalo's dominating the whole game. They're up 17. Touchdown Miami, they win by 10. There you go. You're covering 13.5 now. I can see
it's just that's a tough ask having Miami to score some points.
And I mean, they still have offensive weapons other than their quarterback. Like their quarterback's the only big question mark now. They still got decent.
He's got to get the other guys the ball. He's got to get the ball.
Receivers in football. Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Like they have.
I mean, look what you did last week against the. Look what the Dolphins did last week against the Jets.
Well, the Jets have a little better. I think the Jets defense might be a little better than Buffalo, but I mean that's just inexcusable.
And also, Buffalo is a team that's vulnerable to wide receivers. If you look at DraftKings, I believe the Dolphins rated 25th or 27th to giving up points against wide receivers when you looked at the fantasy. Because so they are vulnerable in the secondary to a point where they give up yards and they can give and Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle can have a day potentially. So I think, and I'm probably not many people agree with me here, Miami's very live to cover the spread. Absolutely. I love these big divisional dogs. I think are very live to cover some of these spreads because they're very familiar with their opponent as well. And laying double digits in the playoffs in a divisional matchup, I'm interested in the underdog here. I got Miami at 11, and I might rebet them if it hits 14 a hook.
I saw since 2010, 10 and 10.5 point favorites are undefeated straight up in ATS in the playoffs.
I've seen that being broadcast all week long too.
And yeah, it's one of those, because it's such a rarity. You think, well, it's a playoff team. It's going to be kind of close. But this is uncharted. I mean, you're rolling out a third stringer.
Yeah.
Come on, versus team. Let's be honest. This team, Buffalo, is thought of to come into the year as the Super Bowl favorites, or at least one of the top 3 or 4 teams in the league.
Yeah,
and now they got a third stringer. As much as they've struggled defensively, how much of that is just like, you know what? Let's just roll through it and get on to the next week.
What if they treat this like a semi bye week and then they start off maybe Miami first half? I think is the better look. I'm my bad. Buffalo first half is the better look rather than full game, because I can easily see this being a 14-point game at halftime. Buffalo takes their foot off the pedal a little bit here, and Miami backdoor covers. That's what I'm kind of thinking happens with San Fran Seattle as well. That's why I only took San Fran in the first half. I think this is a good spot where they backdoor cover.
I was worried like that last week too against the Pats. You figured they got out early, and then all of a sudden you got to worry about that. But I think the Patriots fighting for a spot. Miami, they could just be ready to like pack it in the way they ended their season. I mean,
probably.
Yeah.
All right. We'll move to the game that me and Nick will be most interested in. The Giants and the Vikings, 3-point spread here, 48.5 in the total. And no big surprise here. I like the Vikings. I like the Vikings on the money line. Obviously, it is kind of pricey at the minus 150. I think you could go with the minus 2.5 at a better number. But I want to take the 3 because I think this comes down. I think this is not a repeat of the game on Christmas Day between these two teams, but I think it's going to be very similar, where it's going to be a close game, and then the Vikings will win in the last seconds of the game. That's what they do. I hear a lot about Kirk Cousins in prime time and all that. Well, look at Daniel Jones's numbers in prime time. I think it pretty much evens itself out. At least Cousins has a playoff win under his belt. I think the Vikings win this game, but I think it's going to be very close in this one. Tim, Giants, Vikings, are you on Team Terry or Team Nick in this one?
I'm on. I hope both teams lose so that I don't have to hear either of you guys anymore. But I would lean towards Giants. And we've been saying this for a while. I strongly believe that Minnesota is a first round exit. Now I thought the same thing with TCU for a while, and then they end up getting blasted. But they end up making it through one playoff game at least. I don't know. This just seems like a big toss up to me. I really most likely won't want anything to do with this game. So I'll probably end up staying off of it. Fantastic. I love that picture, Isaacs. I love that picture. But I want nothing to do with this game.
Wow, that is absolutely hilarious.
That is awesome, Isaacs. I appreciate that one.
Wow, Tim Smith agrees with you, or disagrees with you, Tim.
Thank you.
Tim is wrong. He is wrong. Vikings get it done. Vikings in the under. I just did a free pick for this on the under because I think everybody's going to be like, "Wow, it's going to be a crazy one." These guys, what did they score in the last 5 minutes of that game? It got out of control. That game was trending under the whole way. So I like the under the 40.5. But I'm leaving Minnesota because all this team has heard all year is how they're trash, and it's the most fugazi 13-4 team in the history of NFL football. They're still a talented offense, and I'm not so. I mean, the Giants, okay, they're great spread-wise. A lot of times they were like crazy underdogs. I don't know. You're Minnesota. You want to fade Minnesota next week? Sure. San Francisco, 7.5 point underdogs, no problem. This spot here at home, again, you can make fun of Cousins all you want. The guy puts up numbers. I don't want to hear about a bad primetime game. That's all. Oh, most times he's playing a really good team, right? Primetime, they're usually decent teams playing. I know this year we got the terrible Broncos most of the time and some other nonsense with these Thursday night games, but forget it. Cousins, Vikings, winner 27-13. No doubt winner there. Forget the Giants. Goodbye.
So easy
Giants.
money. What you're saying is the Vikings are easy money.
No,
Easy money,
I don't say that.
lock.
I just think the Vikings in the under here.
All right. Tim Smith agrees with you. I think the home field is going to be huge. If this was being played in New York, obviously I would still want the Vikings to win, but I would not feel as confident as I do. Oh, I wish he wanted to said that. I wish he would not have said that. I wish he wanted to said that. But
No doubt.
Yeah.
There's never a doubt.
No, it's the other comment. But Nick, what do you think here? Oh, well, obviously, as a Giants fan, what do you think here?
I think this matchup sucks, honestly, because this is actually, I saw an interesting stat. This is the first matchup between two teams with negative point differentials the whole year. Everybody's looking at the Vikings. They have a negative 3-point differential. They went 13-4, though. The Giants had a negative 6-point differential. So both these teams overall, they did not outscore their opponents, even though they had nice winning records. So I believe that whoever wins this matchup gets smoked next week against San Fran or Philadelphia, whoever they have to play. But looking at this spot for me, when we look at the way these two teams played back in back on Christmas Eve, the only other time they played each other, that was a close competitive game, and it needed a last-second 61-yard field goal unless it would have gone into overtime. When we look at the numbers behind it, the Giants outgained the Vikings by almost 100 yards, 445 to 353. So they outplayed the Vikings throughout most of that game. The only difference is that the Giants turned the ball over twice, and the Vikings did not at all. So I could see this game being close and competitive, and when I see it being close and competitive, I want the points. So I grabbed +3 at the Giants. I'll probably sprinkle the money line as well. But I see this being a close competitive game once again because the Vikings don't blow out teams. The only teams they've blown out this year was week 1 against the Packers and then the Bears twice. Those are the only three games they won.
And one of the games against the Bears they didn't cover.
Yeah. So those are the only games they won by double digits. So, I mean, this is not a team I particularly trust to win by margin. So I see this as a close competitive game like we've seen with every other Vikings game this year. And I think 3 points, maybe I get a push out of this if the Giants lose. I see this as a close competitive game. That's the way I projected it.
No.
Cool.
Hey, I like what I'm hearing from Higgs. I hope he's right. But we'll go to Baltimore, Cincinnati. Baltimore plus 360 money line, Cincinnati minus 400. Now I'm seeing 8s and 8.5s. This was at 9.5 earlier today. So it does appear that the line's moving a little bit. 40.5s when it comes to the total. Obviously, we'll get to the futures here in just a little bit, but the Bengals, they're one of my picks here for the Super Bowl. I think they go right back to the Super Bowl, and I think they have a good shot at winning it this year. So they'll be one of my futures. Obviously, I like them in this game. I don't like how big of a public play they've been. I really don't like that, but I don't expect Baltimore to do anything. Kind of like Higgs was saying about the Miami game. I don't think Baltimore is going to do much of anything in this game against Cincinnati. Burrow is by far the better quarterback, and he'll be able to lead the team to a win. If anything, I would go maybe with the minus 5.5 alternate spread. Maybe parlay that with something else. But I might end up having the minus 8 because I do like the Bengals convincingly here. Tim, Baltimore, Cincinnati. What do you think here?
Under. You're not going to get much out of Baltimore. I would lean towards Baltimore on the spread, though, just because this game has 21-17, 17-14 written all over it. This is a low-scoring game. I think the under is going to be probably my favorite play in this game. I just don't see much out of Baltimore. So I'll lean under. I lean towards the Ravens getting the points, but I'm not going to touch the Ravens. I'll probably just touch the under.
All right, Higgs.
The line move makes sense. It was 6.5 opener. There was thought of Lamar. It creeps up. He's out. Then you hear Huntley might not play. It's up to the 9. Now it's back down. Maybe it's not the third stringer. Maybe we got a second stringer. Does it really make a difference? And I know people will be like, well, it's, money on this and that. There's 8 games. There'll be public monies everywhere, right? So you don't let that dissuade you now this time of year when there's a handful of games. You're either going to be on one side or the other side, and it could be public, quote unquote, whatever. What did we see last week in this game? It was a blowout in the second. The game wasn't even close. It looks close at the end because Cincy at that point took off the entire second half of the game. It was 17-0, then 17-7, then it's 24-7 in the blink of an eye in the last 2 minutes of the first half. Are you going to get more offense out of Baltimore here? No. I mean, listen, laying these kind of points, again, it's tricky like the Miami game. All right. You want to see Lamar, you want to see starting quarterbacks. The league likes parity. You got a bunch of 9 and 18s because the quarterback play this year across the board. I think there was something like, 40 different starting quarterbacks or something, like something ridiculous. Like how many starting quarterbacks were there this year?
Perfect. Yeah.
We have big spreads and it's easy. All of us, we like to bet. Obviously, we're dog guys. We're cappers. We're going to lean towards more dogs. These spots are just hard to take when you have a unproven quarterback. Not even unproven. This guy's been quarterback for 5 weeks. He can't score more than 14 points a game. If you think that the Bengals can't score 20, go ahead. Get on that Ravens. Let's go. But I don't know. Even the over, I don't know about, or the under, I should say. Can you get Baltimore? I mean, this year they played 2 kind of close games. Last year, Cincy was dropping 41 on these guys in both games. Is Cincy going to come out and play hard for 3 quarters and take a second half off because they got the Bills on deck? That's the game up next, basically. Or is Buffalo and Cincy looking to next week? Buffalo, 3-point fave at home, 4-point fave. Is that the game? They're going to play a half, 3 quarters. I'm not a huge in-game guy. This would be an in-game spot, like the Bills. You don't want to lay double digits because again, Cincy at 8.5. It's almost you got to win by. You got to be double digits to cover, right? 9's just a weird number. 20-10. It's not 19-10. It's 21-10. It's that kind of thing. first half them, and then as a playoff game, people watch. So you want an in-game away, you get the feel of the game. But yeah, it's kind of like disappointing. I don't know. I'm not really excited about some of these games with the backup quarterback situations. I don't know. That's just me. It's because I want to take dogs, and I'm sure, Tim and Nick want to take dogs too, right? But it's, man, talk about holding your nose and taking third string quarterbacks and second string guys who average 12 points a game. I don't know. I mean, this is the playoffs. This is where the cream rises to the top.
Me and Nick did say we like the Jaguars as a dog. And then Richie did bring up the Bucks, which we'll get to really shortly.
Yeah, I listen. I'm gonna have to. I can't do the whole show. They're like looking at me like, come in and cook. Why? I don't know. There's 6 people in the house. I got to do the cooking, but
no worries. Thanks for coming. Higgs,
I apologize.
After, jump back on, but thanks for coming.
I apologize about staying. Listen, Giants stink. Cowboys to win it all. How about that?
There we go.
Later, guys.
All right, we'll talk to you later. See ya. Nick, what do you think with this game?
Yeah, shocker. The Cowboys fan likes the Giants to lose. No, looking at this spot here for me, the lines moved a little bit back towards the Ravens because Tyler Huntley's questionable. He was a full participant in practice on Friday, so it looks like he's on track to play this game. I think the Ravens are live in this one. It's going to be one of 3. The Niners, the Bills, or the Bengals are going to lose. All 3 are not going to win. They're all in divisional matchups where they're huge favorites. They're not all going to win. I truly believe at the end of the week, one of them will fall. It's the Bengals right here. I like the Ravens in this game, at least plus the points. I will probably have a sprinkle on the money line as well. I think they are a live dog in this game. And I think defensively they'll be able to slow them down. This has, at the very least, they cover this number because this has a grimy AFC North type of battle it out 17-13 type of game feel to it. I do lean under in this one, but I do like the Ravens to cover the spread and potentially win this game outright because everybody. You sent me the message earlier. The most bet team to win the Super Bowl right now is the Bengals. Vegas would love nothing more than them to be eliminated week 1 of the playoffs. So I think that the Ravens are alive in this game. They are also behind the Bills, the most bet team of the weekend. And I know Higgs said, don't worry about the tickets or whatever. When it's 9 out of 10 tickets on one team, that's concerning now. When we're seeing 85 to 90% of the tickets on one team, I'd be concerned. And that's what we're kind of seeing with the Bengals right now, where we're seeing 86% of the tickets, 89% of the cash is on the Bengals. So that would concern me a little bit backing Cincy here. I like the Ravens to at least cover, if not win this game outright.
All right. Well, I 100% completely disagree with you, but that's normal.
What else is new?
For me, I just think I don't see how Baltimore has. Yes, okay. If you take away the tickets and what people have been betting, if you take that away and look at it, and you look at the two teams, I don't see how Baltimore competes with the Bengals. Joe Burrow is the guy. So we will see. Richie says about Cousins breaking his primetime demise, and all I have to say is,
can we just say the game's not a primetime game. The game's at 4:00. That's not primetime.
It's a standalone game.
It's a standalone. It's not a primetime game.
I consider all playoffs. All playoffs can be kind of considered primetime. Since I don't know, it's up to whatever. But Baltimore does have a defense, yes, but it didn't do very well last. Maybe they were resting some of their starters, but I don't think this game is very close. But I haven't locked in anything. So Dallas, Tampa Bay, Monday night game that we'll get to the futures. Tom Brady is a dog. Tom Brady is a dog. Tom Brady is a dog. If you look at when he wins a Super Bowl, he wins a Super Bowl, he loses, he wins, he loses, he wins, he loses. Well, guess what? He didn't win it last year. So if you're following that streak, which I think has gone on for the last 10 years or so, it's Tom Brady's time to win. But I can't say go and bet Tom Brady to win the Super Bowl because of that stat. If you look at the Tampa Bay team this year, they are much different than they were last year. I think Dallas is the better team, but I'm not betting against Tom Brady, not in the playoffs. If I get to anything in this game, it probably will be Tampa Bay, but I don't think that they win the Super Bowl. But I think they can win this game, especially Tom Brady against the Dallas Cowboys. Complete domination. Tim, Dallas Cowboys, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What do you think here?
I hate Tom Brady. I hate Tom Brady. I hate Tom Brady. I hate Tom Brady. The Bucs win this game. I don't care that it's the Bucs or Carolina or New Orleans or Atlanta. Whoever won the NFC South, I said this 4 weeks ago. Whoever won the NFC South beats Dallas in the first round of playoffs. It could have been Carolina. It could have been New Orleans. It could have been Atlanta. I would have said I'm taking whatever home team against Dallas because the Dallas Cowboys choke every year. It does not matter, and it's without fail. It's without fail. I like Tampa Bay, and I'll talk a little bit more about them in the future segment. I like Tampa Bay in this one, and I hate Tom Brady.
The Patriots fan is asking who is Tom Brady. Interesting.
And somebody who's better than whatever you got in New England.
That's true. Oh, Richie's upset. Somebody pissed Richie off. Who did it?
Probably
Nick,
me.
what do you think here? The final wildcard game of the week.
Yeah. So what are we looking at here? We have Tom Brady home as an underdog in the playoffs against a team that is known to choke in the playoffs. And all we're hearing this so far this week, all I've heard, Tom Brady's never lost against the Cowboys. He's never lost against the Cowboys, and the Cowboys choke in the first round every year and all that. And you know who also is hearing that? The public. And the public is all over the Buccaneers this weekend. Cowboys first half, Cowboys full game. I got the Cowboys first half money line minus 135. I got the Cowboys full game minus 2.5. Cowboys win this game by a touchdown. Offensively, this Cowboys team is better than it has been in years past. Defensively, they still have some holes. I think offensively, they put up 30 in this game against Tampa Bay. I really do. And this is one of those spots where it's primetime Brady as well, where I know everybody's absolutely in love with Brady. This is a different Tom Brady, though. This is just one of those games where I hate the Cowboys. And I could have started my breakdown like Tim with Tom Brady. I hate the Cowboys. I hate the Cowboys. I hate the Cowboys. The Cowboys are winning this game. And they're winning this by at least a touchdown. So I like the Cowboys. First half full game is what I went with that one. Doubled up on them. Probably my favorite bet of the wild card weekend.
Wow. Very, very interesting. The neutral way says Brady isn't an underdog.
That plus 2.5 and the plus 121 will say otherwise.
Yeah, I kind of have to disagree with you. And like Nick kind of just said, the proof is kind
There's
of on the screen.
numbers right there saying that he is.
And if we
The
click
Buccaneers
on
are not that good this year. They won a crappy division.
plus
with
one,
an under
plus
500
one,
record.
plus money everywhere.
Yeah.
But, Tim. Oh yeah, you already talked about this game. Nick Fox Sports also announced and made it public, so it's definitely made public. Are they Nick?
Yes.
Oh, because you were saying about all the good things about Tampa Bay, and then yeah, okay, so yeah,
Nah,
you are the one who.
I got you.
There you go.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, what I should have done is listed all that, and then went not so fast, my friend.
Yeah. Tim Smith says the best pet is a wolf or a raven. So Tim Smith is
Interesting.
listing the best of whatever, and there's lots of different things. But Mahomes will win the Super Bowl. This is the Mahomes era, and I'm fading all of your picks.
Yay! Woo!
All right,
You get them.
Fading all my picks. Here you go. Here's all my picks: Giants, Ravens, Cowboys, 49ers, Dolphins. There's all my picks. Go ahead and fade them. That's
See,
fine.
I don't know if who he or she is necessarily talking to, but Me and Nick
neutral way
disagree,
been
so
on-
you can't fade
They've
both
been
of
on a
us.
couple of. He or she has been on a couple of ESP shows. So that's fine. Fade us all you want. Do you want our other picks tonight? I'm taking the over in the Michigan State game. I'm not going to go.
He's one of those where one interesting thing that I've noticed about the guy that keeps commenting there was the only videos that he comments of Tim and I's are losing videos. We can have 8 winning videos in a row, or we can do 10 videos in a day and go 9-1. He'll only comment on the loser because he has nothing better to do with his life.
Well, there we go. And to your comment about this is the Mahomes era, you better hope you better hope Nick's right and Cincinnati gets eliminated. That's all I'll have to say about that because Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow is Patrick Mahomes' daddy.
Exactly. Best hockey show this one. Well, Tim, unfortunately, maybe not this one. I'll admit it's me. Kidding. LOL. So, well, we'll see. We'll see, Isaacs. But we will go to futures. And we have Kansas City plus 353, Buffalo plus 400, San Francisco plus 500, Philly plus 550. That's a little bit surprising that they're kind of down the list there. Cincinnati plus 800, and then we get into the double digits, 1,600 for Dallas, 2,500 for Chargers, 3,000 for Tampa Bay, 3,500 for Minnesota, 5,000 for Jacksonville, 6,600 for the Giants, 6,600 for Baltimore, and plus 10,000 at some spots if you like the Seattle Seahawks.
And then Miami's down there too as well.
Oh, oops.
Miami's 80-1, yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to all the Miami fans. Yeah,
Miami's there somewhere.
Well. They do.
They won't be there long.
Yeah, we'll just go back up. But they do exist somewhere, but not in my future picks. I have not locked in anything. Going to be complete and upfront honest about that. But I can say that I am going to be on San Francisco around plus 500 as my favorite pick. Or not my favorite pick, sorry. My pick that is one of the big favorites. I am also going to be on Cincinnati plus 800. I'm also going to be on Minnesota plus 3,500 as a homer pick. And I'm going to be on Jacksonville plus 5,000. Just a kind of wild card, my kind of wild card underdog. Will I sprinkle a little bit on Buffalo just because of the whole Hamlin situation? I don't know. That's definitely a possibility. I could see Buffalo as the team of destiny as well, so I may sprinkle on them as well. But the main 4 that I listed are the 4 that I'm going to be targeting in the playoffs this year. Tim, playoff futures, who do you like? And give us an underdog too. I'm sure you like some underdogs, but if you don't, give us an underdog that you think has a chance. And what do you think?
The easy way out, I would say Buffalo and San Fran or something like that. I'm not going to go and say I'm taking the favorites because that's no fun for me. Out of the AFC, because I'm not taking Cincy. I'm not taking Buffalo, not taking Kansas City. I don't see enough value in it for me to lock up my money in order to do that. For the AFC, give me the Chargers. It's just a underdog that they get Jacksonville. I think they beat Jacksonville. And then they get to go up against a division rival in Kansas City that they've seen before. They've seen twice before this year. And they always play them close. I think that could be a possible upset game where the Chargers could beat the Chiefs. Now, do I think the Chargers win the Super Bowl? No, I don't think the Chargers win the Super Bowl. Obviously, I think Cincy, Buffalo, or Kansas City is all better than them. But when I take futures odds, I want to take a little bit more of a long shot. On the NFC side, I hate Tom Brady. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers make the Super Bowl. Just because what wouldn't the NFL want more than another Tom Brady Super Bowl story? That's just a long shot. He got in. That's all he needed to do at the moment. They got in. They get Dallas. I think they could beat Dallas. The tricky game would be when they have to either play. I think their trickiest game would be the Niners, because I'm not scared of the Eagles. I'm not scared of the Eagles. I think the Niners are way better than the Eagles. So I think that would be the better thing. But I'm not going to go after something that's under 1,000. So I wanted to take a little bit more of long shots. I'll grab Chargers and I'll grab Tampa Bay as my two things. What I actually think is going to happen, I think is Bengals and 49ers. But when I bet and when I want to see value with, I'm going Chargers and Tampa Bay.
All right. Obviously, the Earls really disagree, which is kind of rare in football, I guess. Well, because you guys had your circa, so you were able to agree on plays, but I guess now with the playoffs, not many games, and you're going to disagree. But plus 800, don't you think there's value there, Tim? Though,
when I bet a future, I want it to be at least 1,000 if I'm going to lock up my money. That's why, like in hockey, I grabbed Tage Thompson win the Hart at 33-1 instead of to win the Rocket Richard at 7-1. Like, I want to go after a little bit more bang for my buck. Although I did take Nikola Jokic MVP at plus 550, but that's not the point. When I want to lock up my money, I want it to be on bigger odds, so I'll take shots with bigger odds. So that's how I like to bet my futures.
All right. Tim Smith says there's only one smart Tim here, and it's him. And then he 100%. Says that Tim's name is not actually Tim, it's Jonathan. So I guess your name is not Tim.
Well, I'm Jonathan now. Hi, I'm Jonathan.
AKA Lions and Packers. The NFL wants Tom Brady to get knocked out by the stinky Cowboys to stun the world.
No, the NFL does not want the Cowboys. Even though the Cowboys
putting up ratings.
Cowboys had 4 out of the 5 most viewed games in the NFL this year. The only one that was not in that one was the Thanksgiving game day against between the Bills and the Lions. Other than that, all the other games were Cowboy games. Most viewed. But Tampa. Johnny.
All right. Before we get to Nick, this comment here, I heard the NFL was fixed like the WWE. Yes or no? This comment could literally be like, this comment could be an argument that could go back and forth for probably like an hour. So we'll get to it a little bit after Nick goes.
WWE is fixed.
It's scripted. It's not fixed. It's scripted. It's acting. WWE is acting, is what it is.
There are times where in the NFL, like if let's say all the calls go against Cincinnati and Baltimore wins, I don't know. I could agree with some people.
Baltimore needs more than just calls to go their way.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see. But Nick, what do you think here for playoff futures? Who do you like?
I've only bet one team, and I bet it a little over a month ago. I got the 49ers at plus 300 to win the NFC and plus 700 to win the Super Bowl. That's the only one I bet. Actually, my bad. I put a homer one in there and taking the Giants. I know. I threw small amounts on it. I have more on the 49ers than I do with the Giants. But I got the Giants at 25-1 and 65-1. Whatever. That was just me being a homer and me thinking to myself, I would never live with myself if they did go on to win the Super Bowl, hypothetically speaking, this year, and I didn't have money on them. I would not be able to live myself with that. So that's what that was. That was an emotional hedge over whatever. But realistically speaking, I would have at 3 to 4 teams before the Buccaneers in the NFC. I would have the Eagles before the Buccaneers. I would have the Niners. I'd have the Cowboys before the Buccaneers. In the AFC, I mean, I only have one written down that I think is that's not. I'm the same way as Tim. I don't want either of the top 3 because 8-1 is great and all. I mean, I took 7-1 for the Niners, but the Niners have a much easier route to the Super Bowl than the Bengals do. So that being said, the only one I have written down that I would look to bet in the AFC, and I said this in the beginning of the show, whoever you think wins the Chargers Jaguars game has value to win the AFC and to win the Super Bowl. I have Jacksonville written down as the only one I would take out of the AFC if I had to pick one. Now, obviously, do I think the Bengals, Bills, or Chiefs are going to win the AFC and go on to the Super Bowl? Absolutely. I think the Chiefs make. I think the Chiefs make the Super Bowl. I do. I think it's Chiefs and Niners. That's kind of why I'm going with this one. But I can't touch any of the top three. I mean, there's no value in plus 350 with the Chiefs. I don't see it. And I get it. Yeah, they may win it, but do they win the Super Bowl 28% of the time, 30% of the time? That's what we're saying with these plus 350 price tags. Because plus 350 says that they win 22% of the time. We run simulations, whatever you like to do. Do they win the Super Bowl at least 22.22% of the time? If they do, then there's value on the Chiefs. Is there value on the Chiefs, though? Maybe there is. I think the Chiefs make the Super Bowl. I think it's the Chiefs and the Niners. But if I had to go after any futures, I've already bet the Niners. In the AFC, I can only go after Jacksonville value-wise.
All right. How I'm looking at it is I'm picking 4 teams that I think have a shot. If I get one, I'll be at money.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at it. And with Kansas City, I guess if you do think Baltimore has a chance, then there is kind of a look for Kansas City, because I really do believe that if Cincinnati faces Kansas City, that Cincinnati will win. Yeah. So I really think it's if you like Kansas City, you want Baltimore to pull off the upset. That's how I look at it. But that's basically it. That's basically the NFL season preview show. Did you guys hear that Toronto's getting an NFL team next year?
No,
that's not. They're getting the Argonauts.
No.
Watch the game. We've all watched the game when a zebra saw a penalty and did not call it. That's for sure.
Can we be honest with something? An NFL referee can put out a holding call on any play they want.
What's up, guys? How we doing?
What's good, Joe? So we have the Bears to win the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, in 10 years, we'll say another 10 years. Something like that.
Okay.
No, not anytime soon. That's for sure. Not the Bears. I really think they might trade Fields, though, bringing that conversation back up. I know I sent you guys when I was on the other day. The next morning, McAfee was talking about it. And it's a legitimate conversation. I guess some GM was giving them the information, but no, I think they could trade him. But you know what? If they do and they take Bryce Young, I think it's going to be a huge mistake again. So yep. I just think they could. I mean, they do everything they shouldn't do in the draft. I mean, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, we were just going to end the show, but while you're here, what do you think about playoff futures?
I mean, to be honest, I think the Chiefs from the AFC, that's for sure. The NFC, I'm not too sure. I think if Dallas had some more home games, because they ended the season, right, with how many road games in a row, and now they have to play on the road.
Yes, I think they're 3rd or 4th in a row.
Yeah, so I think that's really going to be their downfall. I think they win week 1, playoff round 1, and then they might lose next week. I mean, to be honest, it's probably just going to be San Francisco and Philadelphia. One of those two, and then I think the Chiefs. But I mean, the value is not there, but that's what I think for that, definitely.
All right. Richie says it's Joe.
What up, Richie?
Isaac says Bears, Vikings, Giants, Jets fans walk into the bar. Yeah, I don't think you'd see that very often. To be honest, actually. But that's kind of it, unless there's anything else anybody wants to say.
Any thoughts on this wild card weekend's games, Joe?
Well, my picks, I have one parlay. I mean, you guys aren't going to like it. I like Vikings, but Vikings and the Cowboys. I got Cowboys with a lot. Like, pretty much everything I'm doing, I'm putting the Cowboys kind of at the end. And, I think Vikings, Cowboys, I think Jaguars. Jaguars and Seattle, I think, are the only dogs that might win, to be honest. That Jaguars game is going to be tough. I think they come out fast. I would take Jaguars like first quarter. Chargers, they're just slow, like they kind of get it going. They try to make comebacks at the end. I would go Jaguars first quarter. I've been really liking the first quarters as of late. That's been one of my one of my favorite bets. Just the first quarter of the drives. I don't know if you guys are able to bet first drive outcome. As soon as the coin flip happens, and what team's gonna
Yes, I think you
have the
can.
ball. But I mean, those are great. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Seattle plus the points. Jaguars money line. And Viking, -3. Yeah, Vikings -3. Cincinnati minus the 8.5. I'll take it. Cowboys, I'm playing on the money line. I'm not even taking a chance because that actually might be a 1-point game, to be honest. And yeah, I don't know. That's pretty much it. That Jaguars Los Angeles game though, it's gonna be it's gonna change a lot. It's gonna change a lot. I could see Chargers going down in the beginning and then make it a comeback, but Jaguars winning that game for sure. Yeah.
All right. So we all three of us like the Jaguars. Tim, you're all on an island on your own with the Chargers.
That's exactly where I want to be.
I'm gonna make a move on the Jaguars money line here. I'm gonna make that an official show play. Jaguars plus 118. Lock it in.
There we go.
Chargers for the Super Bowl. Nobody will expect it.
Yeah. Jaguars money line first quarter plus 150. I love that play, to be honest.
Plus 150. Where are you seeing 150? Is
Is
that like
three?
Is that like
three-way,
minus a half,
three-way
or-
first quarter
three-way? Got it. Three-way.
plus 150. But I think
Freeway?
yeah. Yeah. And I don't know if you guys want. I can give one CBA play out. If Terry,
Yeah.
Terry, it's nice to meet you too. By the way, how you doing?
Yeah,
But,
nice to meet you too. Yeah, go ahead. Feel free.
Chinese basketball. Terry, have you dabbled into the foreign?
He doesn't do NBA. He doesn't do NBA, so he doesn't do basketball in general.
Oh,
I
he's
bet
not cool.
NBA.
He's not-
I'm
he's
the
not
I'm
cool
the
like
reigning
you.
picks and parlays 3-time total chaos NBA champion.
Where are you
Off
on?
back to back
Hey,
4-1 week.
Where are you for the NBA leaderboards? Sorry.
Yeah, because I don't put an NBA up on the site because I don't bet it too much. But yes, go ahead, Joe. What do you like?
all right. Well, best bet for the CBA tomorrow. The Fujian Sturgeons plus 10.5. Boom. Lock it in. That's my best bet.
There you go.
All right. Tim Smith says, great. Terry never answers my questions. Worst show ever.
Tim,
and
I'll answer here. Tim,
his question is Joe Kryptonite related to Wonder Woman? Know how to answer that question.
Yeah, not quite.
well, are you?
No, I'm
No.
her dad, to be honest.
There we go. So there's your answer, Tim. I hope you're happy now.
I am happy. Thank you.
Not you, Tim. The other
Oh,
Tim.
well, that
the Tim
Tim.
that says
Well,
that he's the better Tim. The better Tim. The Leafs fan.
And I
Tim.
promise you, that's not me. That's not me.
All right. Well, I can say it's not me either. I know he loves the Vikings, and it might seem like he's me, but no, it's not.
No, I think it might be Terry.
It's got to be Terry.
I think it's Terry.
But that's the show. Thanks, Joe, for coming on. Nick and
Oh,
Tim,
one
as
more
always.
One more thing. Monkey Kings on the money line. Boom.
Monkey Kings. I like it.
Monkey Kings, hell yeah! Can't go wrong with the Monkey Kings.
Those are the
And what
CBA
league
players.
is this again for people that
Chinese
that wanna know?
basketball.
Chinese basketball.
Mhm.
Yes.
So it's like literally listed on a book, Chinese basketball. There's not like a league
Yep.
name.
It's under
yeah, no, it's
basketball, under Chinese.
China.
Or
Out
sorry,
of-
China.
To be
China.
honest, out of all the foreign basketball that's played, it's really the most legitimate to bet on too, and it's actually the biggest league. There's 20 teams in the Chinese Basketball Association, so it's legitimate for sure.
There you
Tim,
go.
that's you.
No, it's that one is not me either.
Oh my God. Okay, well, I don't know. It must be ISEX then. But that's today's show. Good luck to everybody on football this weekend. Let's all make some money. And we'll probably do another football show closer to the
Division
Super
round.
Bowl. And yeah, best of luck,
The
everybody.
Chargers and the Bucks.
Go Vikings.